Exodus 23:1 says, "Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness." In order to keep this from going on for hours, I'll now give shorter summaries from this point forward of the errors, lies, and distortions found in the book of Enoch. I'm sure we will not hit them all, but we have already provided plenty of evidence against the book of Enoch being included in the Bible, in addition to the fact that it fails the three main criteria as we discussed in segment 25 in these About the Bible segments. And some may say, well, you're talking about the book of Enoch and not about the Bible. But the fact is, we've spent a couple of hours worth of segments already talking about how we got our Bible, and now we are discussing why the rejected books of the Bible were rejected, and that is mainly by comparing them to the Bible itself. For example, the Bible does not say the following as found in the book of Enoch, chapter 10, verses 9 and 10, where it says, quote, "And to Gabriel said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth, send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle, for length of days shall they not have," end quote. Now that contradicts the Bible. God destroyed them all in the flood, not in some pre-flood warfare. We read in Genesis 6:17, "And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven. And everything that is in the earth shall die," end quote. And it's that kind of embellishment and distortion that you find in nearly all of these rejected books of the so-called lost books of the Bible. They're rejected books like the book of Enoch. And as we continue reading the book of Enoch, in chapter 12, we see a complete contradiction of the biblical account of the end of Enoch's early life. Genesis 5:23 and 24 give us the full account of Enoch's removal from the earth, saying, quote, "And all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." The end. The Bible explains and reiterates this short, simple narrative in Hebrews 11:5, telling us that by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased God. There's nothing about Enoch after that. He went to be with God, and that's that. But the book of Enoch, chapter 12, verses 1 through 6, changes the story in Genesis, saying, "Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him," end quote. Now that's just not true. We know where he went, and what had become of him. He was raptured, and he was with the Lord. He went to paradise. Then the book of Enoch goes on to claim that Enoch was sent by the watchers in heaven to confront the watchers of the heaven who have left the high heaven and married women. But that didn't happen. God's program was through Noah alone. The Bible never says that Enoch was involved and went and tried to talk to the watchers and all that sort of thing. 2 Peter 2:4 and 5 says, "For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly." There's never a word about Enoch having any involvement with the announcement of the judgment of the flood of Noah. There's nothing about him communicating with watchers or anything of the sort. And everything in the book of Enoch, other than what is lifted from the Bible itself, like the quote from Jude, everything we see is full of contradictions and fictional embellishments. And for that reason, in addition to all the other things we discussed, the book of Enoch is not worthy of inclusion in the inspired Word of God, the Holy Bible, and is not on par or equal to those books.